Why is there something rather than nothing? Or better put, why is there anything at all? Could the answer to one of the most fundamental questions in all of philosophy be that abstract objects actually explain existence? This might sound very strange, but some very respected philosophers and physicists actually think so. Think of the concept of nothing as having different levels. First, we have the world as we know it with concrete material things. At the next level, there might not be any concrete material things, but maybe just like the laws of nature or energy. Another level could be just abstract objects like mathematics, value, or probability, the concept that something could happen, only exist. These abstract objects could be eternal, existing outside of time, and can't really be created or destroyed. Could one of these abstract objects or concepts be axiomatic or without cause or explanation and answer the why question of existence, including explaining why our universe is the way it is? In this short video, I'll cover the best axiomatic, also sometimes referred to as nomological or teleological responses to the fundamental question of existence, including those from John Leslie, Nicolas Rescher, and Max Tegmark. If you liked this video at any point and thought it was interesting or helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up, as it really helps its visibility in the algorithm, and make sure to subscribe for more videos like it below using the link in the description. Now, one such theory called AXIARCHISM comes from John Leslie, a philosopher and expert on the fundamental question of existence, who's probably thought about this question for a lot longer than you and I have. So his answer: the world exists because it is the product of a directly active ethical requirement, which as a matter of fact, not logic, has proven sufficient to make things exist. Something exists in this case because it's ethically good that it does. In his book, Value and Existence, he outlines how ethical value is self-justifying, which means that it can explain the existence of our universe and itself is self-explanatory. I summarize his argument as the following, and then I'll explain it more in detail. There's a direct ethical requirement for existence, which is a matter of fact, not logic. Some ethical requirements may overrule the need for evils, like natural disasters. The foundation of all goodness is intrinsic goodness, which is self-justifying and real. This is because ethical goodness can't be a relative thing, a human construct, for example. The need for goodness does not depend on anything or anyone, such as people with an ethical obligation. Ethical requirements may be productive and creative. Our world is constructed in such a way that heavily suggests that there was an ethical requirement for its particular existence. So what this means is the need for something to exist because it's ethically good to exist is axiomatic or needing no explanation, a fact. Goodness is something real out there, not relative, or it can be changed based on perspective either. And also it doesn't really depend on people or things. Now, he's not saying that ethical goodness can create things out of nothing, per se. If that were so, something like world peace would be spontaneously created and we wouldn't have to work to make it happen. However, these ethical needs or requirements may be creatively responsible for the existence of things, in this case mainly the creation of the universe. He writes, a thing's value is a matter of there being a reason for that thing to exist. The universe may have value, so its ethically desirable character supplies a reason for it being there. Why should we believe any of this? Well, given the way our existence is, he writes, mainly the immense fine-tuning of the physical laws of the universe suggests that our world exists because it satisfied this ethical need. The universe appears to have been created because of value. One example he gives in the book is time. Time could theoretically have ended up in many different ways, yet we have these notions of a past, present, and future. If the world wasn't created to satisfy an ethical need, we could just live in the present, for example, with no recollection of the past. However, we do have a past and memories which can create value. If there was no past, then the value would be wasted and the world essentially comes into being and then disappears for no reason. We can think of Leslie's theory like this. First, there's the concept of absolute nothing, no objects, concepts, space, time, which Leslie says can't exist and isn't a probability. Then there's the abstract concept for the need for a good world. This can be thought of as in a super time, different than outside of our own, or different than it. Then the regular time begins in our universe with concrete things like energy, matter, begin to exist because of the abstract concept. Just to be clear, Leslie doesn't fully commit to the idea of abstract objects, or this is an abstract object, yet he says the good world needs not count as an existent thing. So no one knows what else it could possibly be. He doesn't seem to provide a clear explanation. The general idea behind his theory is that the universe is a free lunch. Because a free lunch is better than having nothing to eat, we can choose to partake in it or just throw it away. That's why something exists. The ethical value doesn't have to be the only abstract concept that could explain why anything exists. Philosopher Nicolas Rescher also believes abstract objects and concepts could explain existence and focuses on cosmic values in his own axiomatic theory. This theory argues that there could be an underlying set of laws, which he calls proto-laws, that don't just describe how nature works, but laws for nature and existence itself. This is very Plato-esque. Specifically, these proto-laws could describe the laws of nature, but also maximize impersonal values like harmony, simplicity, system elegance, and more. Why should abstract objects or proto-laws maximize values, you ask? Well, it's similar to Leslie. It's just axiological or self-explanatory, and that's the final answer. No need to investigate further. He writes, "It is the great advantage of the principle of axiology to be in the position to provide the materials for its own explanation. Principles of economy, simplicity, etc. are literally self-explanatory by virtue of being optimal on their own footing. A value principle must validate itself. In this case, value validates itself, though something rather than nothing, because something fulfills value or maximizes values." Now, before I go any further, you'll probably begin to question how exactly abstract objects create physical things, like this chair that I'm sitting on. And if you're not sure, then welcome to the club. Leslie's theory and Rescher's theory are very murky when it comes to the details of the creation of material things, and it makes no ontological sense that an abstract concept can create anything material. So are these theories pretty much meaningless? Well, there's a theory by MIT physicist Max Tegmark that details how abstract objects do have some creational power. More specifically, the universe and existence are an abstract object, that of mathematics in this case. The mathematical universe hypothesis, also known as ultimate ensemble theory, states that our physical universe and all of existence is a mathematical structure, meaning it's literally math, not just a mathematical description. What about people? Apparently we're math too. And any mathematical structure complex as ourselves will subjectively perceive themselves as existing in a physical real world. This argument can be put as the following. Our best physical theories give a mathematical representation of the world, and math can explain every part of existence. An interpretation of existence being purely mathematical should be preferred over other theories of everything by Occam's razor. It is not just that it can be represented by mathematical objects in our best physical theories. It is, and we are fundamentally those mathematical objects. Tegmark argues that everything can be described by math, including emotions, textures, thoughts, because everything in the universe is made up of fundamental particles like leptons, quarks, forces, etc., and physicists use math to describe these fundamental building blocks. We can think of them as actually not having any other properties other than mathematical ones. Therefore, we can think of everything as actually being math. Something exists rather than nothing for Tegmark because perhaps we can think of math as axiomatic and not needing a creator. It's something that has always existed and can accurately portray why our universe exists the way it does. Now, is there any truth to these abstract axiological type arguments? Well, there's many ways to refute them. The Leslie argument is self-contradictory, as it says that ethical value both can and can't create anything. One can argue the Rescher argument is circular, and Tegmark's argument utilizes bait and switch, replacing a representation reality with an identity relation, aka just because something can be represented by math doesn't mean it is such. Plus, none of these arguments makes much ontological sense. I think that creators seem to understand this, though, to a degree, but are committed to their ideas, as I think they believe the answer to existence lies down this particular path of thinking somehow. So I think we should applaud them for pushing the question forward and being brave enough to throw out their own creative ideas for intense scrutiny out there, instead of just hiding behind their computers and publishing safe, boring research papers. But let me know what you think. And if you like this video and thought it was interesting or helpful, again, please give it a thumbs up, as it really helps the channel get seen. And make sure to subscribe for more videos like it using the link in the description, including the next video coming up on this series of existence, which I'll publish soon. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell to receive updates when new videos are released. So again, let me know what you think of these, and I'll see you in another video coming up.